Mishnah says that chum bekodesh mi b'truma, that for kochim, that if you want to be tovel kalim that are tmeim, you can't put them in a larger vessel and immerse it in the mikveh. For truma, you could do it. So we had a machlokas in Rabbeilo and Rava. What is the reason? It's a rabbinic stringency. Rabbeilo says the reason is because of chatzitza. Because we're concerned that the inner vessel may be heavy, and therefore it weighs down, and people, like an Amoritz, would think, you see, even though the water may not circulate around the inner vessel, it's not a problem. Therefore, for Kodesh, they say, it's not. Truma, yes. Rava says, no, that's not the reason. The reason is because to be considered a mikveh, as we have two bodies of water, let's say you have 20 saw, and 40 saw is a mikveh. And let's say you have a hole in the wall connecting both locations. Unless the opening is a sufficient size, we don't see both bodies of water as one. So let's say you have a vessel, you want to be tovelet, and the mouth of the vessel is less than 2 fingers in circumference, right? So the halacha is, it's not the water, although it goes into the bottle, the water in the bottle is not considered connected to the mikveh. The water in the bottle is considered self-contained. So let's say a person, would put needles in there, needles that are contaminated. Although physically the water is touching the water of the mikveh, right? It's not a valid tefillah. Because the water in the bottle is separated, is considered cut off from the mikveh. So if we allow a vessel to put in the vessel, he may be tovel, being an amoritz, a person doesn't know, may draw from that, you see. So we'll take any vessel, even a vessel that has a small mouth. Therefore, as a result of that, for Kodesh, they instituted this chumrah, the stringency, right? That's not for truma. That's Rav's interpretation. Smara said, what is the halachic difference? What's the halachic difference between Rav and Rabbeilo? According to Rava, if you have a large basket, this large basket, wicker bed, never has a small mouth on it, you could be tovel kalim in a kalim. But if the reason is chatzitza, as Rabbeilo says, it's a chatzitza issue, because the people say, although the water doesn't circulate, because it may have a heavy vessel in there, doesn't circulate, you could be tovel. Therefore, according to Rabbeinu, rabbinically, you could not use this large wicker basket. According to Rava, you can use the rod wicker, because rod wicker baskets never have such a small opening in it. Okay, let's get back to the Gemara here. Okay, so the Gemara said, Omer Rabba Baravua, yeah. Kihod Omer Yud Aleph Malu Shanukan. We find the Mishnah, there's 6 levels of Chumrah. Sheish Yishonos Bein L'Kodesh Bein L'Chulin. The first 6, we say apply to Kodesh, and also V'chulish Nasa Tarsa Kodesh. Person who conducts himself when he eats Chulin with the same stringency as Kodesh. Achronis, the last 5, L'Kodesh, it's only for Kodesh. Those malos, those special rabbinic stringencies. Avalo L'chulish Nasa Tarsa Kodesh. Ma'ika Bein D'Rava L'Rabbeila. What's the halachic difference between Rabbeila's understanding of the Mishnah, Rava's understanding? Ikabenayu Salva Gugasni. This large wicker basket, or this filtering thing, basket that you filter the sediment from the wine as it flows into the pit. If the issue is because of chatzitza, it applies. The concern is he may put needles or these crochet hooks into a vessel which the opening is too small. There's no such, it never exists. So therefore, there's no confusion that you may draw a misunderstanding from the case of what? Of the basket. Was the Rav L'Tamik? And Rav is consistent with his position. That if you take a wicker basket or this other type of basket, which never has a small opening, you fill it with kalim and you immerse it in the mikveh, Torin. Or mikveh, however, Rav says, let's say you had 40 saw, and now you build a wall in the center to divide it in half, and this is a wall that's porous because the wicker basket has holes in it. So it's from floor, it divides it in half. Okay? I mean, the water doesn't flow over, it only flows through the wall. It's not a valid tefillah. Why? Earth. The earth is porous. The ground. Let's say you have an earthen wall separating. You have 20 saw and 20 saw on each side of the wall, and you have an earthen wall separating. Although this seepage, It doesn't mean anything, because since the opening is not a sufficient size, we see it as two separate bodies of water. Similarly, if you divide the mikveh with a wall made of wicker baskets, although the water seeps through the holes, but since the hole is not of sufficient size, it's considered a separation, it's a mechitza, therefore it's not a valid tefillah. Now, v'hani mil b'kli torah, that we say that if the opening is not large enough, according to Rava, it's a problem because the water in the bottle is not considered connected to the mikveh. That's only if you put the needles with a tameh inside a bottle, or the vessel which is tor. Avol b'chli tameh, but let's say the vessel itself needs tefillah because it's tameh. Migu the solka tefillah l'kulei gufei demonom. Since the tefillah, let's say you have a bottle or vessel with the opening which is less than 2 fingers, and I want to be told that vessel. Let's say I keep a cap on top, and water doesn't go in the vessel. It's not a valid tefillah. The water has to go inside and the outside. But your question is, but how does it go inside? It's what? It has a small opening. The answer is, but the Torah says, regardless of the opening for the vessel itself, if it needs tefillah, and water goes in, it's considered that vessel is fully in the mikveh. That means even the water inside the bottle is in the mikveh. So if you have crochet hooks and you have needles inside, so if the water in the bottle, which needs itself tefillah, is considered in the mikveh, so that means the mikveh is inside the bottle. So as it's effective for the bottle, it's going to be effective for if it's in the bottle. So that we say that we're concerned that the water in the bottle is separated from the mikveh, that's only if the vessel does not need tefillah. Right. But if the vessel itself is tameh, that it needs tefillah itself, so then whatever's in the bottle will be affected. But it will be considered mikveh water inside. Right? You follow what I'm saying? If the kli itself needs tefillah. Wait a second, and it has a very tiny opening, but the water does go in, and you fill up the inside of the bottle. Why is it considered that the vessel in its entirety is in the mikveh? That means it's not only the mikveh is on the outside of the bottle, the mikveh is inside the bottle. Why? Because the Torah says if you have any vessel that needs tefillah, the water that goes in is considered part of the mikveh. Right? That's what Torah says. You immerse it in. So now, let's say I put needles inside that bottle. No, before it's immersed. When it needs, it's simultaneously. As you tovel it, you tovel what's in the bottle too. What's contained within the bottle, although the opening is tiny, is it a valid tefillah for what's in the bottle? It is. Because the water in the bottle, how do you classify that water? It's mikveh water. It's part of the mikveh. Because if it wouldn't be part of the mikveh, it wouldn't affect the kli that you're being tovel. This vessel itself, which needs its own tefillah. As the outside has to be in the mikveh, the water in the bottle has to be in the mikveh. So you consider the inside of the bottle as if it's in the mikveh. So if you have needles or crochet hooks inside the bottle, that means if it's in that water is considered part of the mikveh. No, it doesn't make a difference the same water. It's what the Torah is saying. It's how the Torah classifies the water in the bottle. Normally the Torah says to connect 2 bodies of water, you need a shver sanod. It's a chiddush in tefillas kelim. Because regarding tefillas kelim, Torah says we see the water in the bottle because the bottle, the clean needs tefillah, and the Torah says regardless how small that opening can be, it's considered a valid immersion, and it could only be a valid immersion if the water in the bottle is the mikveh. So therefore, automatically, anything in the bottle is considered part of the mikveh. The Gezeres HaKosov. That's the Gezeres HaKosov of tefillas kelim. Doesn't make a difference, does it? Because one is aloch. No, one's aloch in mechaber mayim. See, if it's mechaber mayim, then here it's not a cover chiba mayim. Here it's tefillas keli. Tefillas keli. The water goes in. It's in there, right. It's a different concept. You're accomplishing something totally different, right? If you read Rashi for lechaber to consider 2 separate bodies of water as one, you need shver sanod. Right. Agavurcha because. Right, exactly. No, then it's not valid. Right, exactly. It's not counterintuitive. It's very logical, right? Because again, as I just explained, Torah says if you want to connect 2 bodies of water or 2 entities of water, it has to be a certain size opening. It's not, they're considered separated. When I immerse a vessel that's tummy in the mikveh, it's not I want to connect 2 bodies of water. The Torah says you immerse it, so that's the mikveh. You're immersing it in the mikveh. So if there happens to be needles in there, as a byproduct, they're affected. They're affected by the mikveh water. Okay? Ditnan, he says, it's a Mishnah. What does it say in the Mishnah? Ditnan, hey, Rega, Deli Shu Mole. I'm reading on the side. I go soon. Deli Shu Mole Kalim, Shemilon Kalim, Vid Bilon, Harelu Torim, Vimlo Toval, Maimu Rovin, Achi Murovin Shresano. But if it's Lo Toval, which is my Komar, what does it mean? What does it mean, Lo Toval? Vimlo Toval, Hochikam, if it Tzorach Lad Bilo, if it doesn't need Tfilo, Aleph, Rega, Vimenu to right, Kloimar. Imayim amurovim b'shneim tzorach eruv k'shlosanod. Achu murovim k'shlosanod. Yeah, okay. No, we'll bring a raya. He's just bring a proof from a Mishnah. So that's all he's doing. This argument, if the reason why you can't be tovel kalim in a basket, it's because of chatzitza or because of shver sanod. It's a machlok stanod Tanya, as we learned in the Brisa. Sal v'gugasti shemilon kalon. You have this basket which never has a small opening. Vid bilon, and he immersed him in this large basket. Bein l'kodesh, bein l'truma torin. Tanakama says it's Torah. So we see clearly that what? It's definitely not chatzitza. Because it's chatzitza, it's irrelevant what kind of basket, right? Abba Sholom and l'truma v'lo l'kodesh. Abba Sholom says no. It's only effective for truma, but we have the chumrah of what? Of kodesh, even though the basket is a wicker basket or it's a large basket. So, okay, so what's the machlokas? Is it chatzitza, or is it the question of shver sanod? So, it's a question, if we have the stringency for kodesh, well, this question is a question of everybody, right? The Mishnah. The Mishnah says we have chumrah for kodesh, and we have no chumrah for truma. Ihochi, truma nami, lamant kami. When we speak about who we concerned about, who's going to misunderstand what's happening? It's not a person who's a chaver. Chaver means the man knows exactly, he's learned and careful in all the areas. Lamand, chaverim, chaver midi yadi. A chaver, he knows the halacha. Iochi, so if that's kodesh nami, right? So if that's the kodesh also. So what do we have the stringency for the chaverim? As the truma, we're not concerned for the chaver. We shouldn't be concerned for the kodesh for the chaver. On the akmas chozli la'amoretz, because if the amoretz sees this, right? Vozul matbil. He'll be tovel, and there may be a problem of chatzitza, or there may be a problem of what? Of shver sanod. So versus truma nami chozleik. So what about truma? He'll also do the same thing. If you tovel things, chatzitza for truma is not valid. So as we're concerned that the amoritz will draw the wrong understanding, the truma will also draw the wrong understanding. Correct? Ozul matbil. So versus lo makabelina minei, because you know why? We won't take his truma. We won't take his truma. So Mer says, Kodesh nami lo kabli minei. So we won't take his kochim. Right? So Mer says, no, havile eva. You turn him down on his kochim, and there's going to be eva. Yeah. So Mer says, truma nami havile eva. So truma is eva too. Right? There'll be animosity. What am I, not a Jew? Lo ichpas lei. He couldn't care. When it comes to truma, he's not offended. Why? The ozul yov le koin amoritz. Chaver, who first he never intended to give it to a chaver. He gives it to one of his buddies. Right? There are enough quantum which I'm a ratzim. So he gives it to one of his buddies. But what about a Kohen? Kohen, let's say kochim. There's certain portions of the korban that can only be given to a Kohen. So if that's the case, what's going to be? You're going to turn him down. It's going to create this Eva. Oman Tana Chash Eva. Who's the Tana which we're concerned for Eva? That we're concerned about it'll be a breakdown of relationship between the Chavirim and the Amaratzim. Reb Yossi, the Tanya. Omer Reb Yossi. Here, everybody's believed. Again, these are all amoretz. They're all rabbinical stringencies. That, like metami and amoretz, all these things. Who we find? What do we say that everybody's believed regarding the purity of wine and oil throughout the year? Here, what happens? You know, you treat the amoretz like he's an outcast. He says, you know something. I'm not coming to your base of Mikdash. I'm going to build my own. I'll build my own altar. I'll do my own thing, right? The sorry for aduma latzmo. Who says, you know something? I'll determine when yes, when not. So therefore, not to alienate them. Rabbi Yossi says, therefore, so the, right? According to do we accept testimony from Amoretz? Keman Reb Yossi. Let's stop for a moment. It's interesting. The Ramos says in Halacha, in Hilchos Birchas Hamazon, that normally the Halacha is that the one who's mevorich for the zimun should not be in Amoritz. It's inappropriate. However, the Ramos says, but if we don't let the Amoritz lead the zimun, he's out the door. You don't consider me a Jew? You know something? I'm going elsewhere. So therefore, that becomes the overriding factor that will mechabed even the Amoritz in the zimun. That he's mezamek for that reason. Literally this rationale over here. Because we don't want to alienate them. But you realize, but it's up to a point. Beyond that point, you could turn Yiddishkeit inside out if you want. We got to take the mechitza out because we're going to alienate them. If it's going to be a violation of the halacha is one thing. If it's a question of a preference, so something, rabbinic true, it's okay. These are all drabonans. It's more than drabonans. It's more than drabonans. It's milos. It's like chumras drabonans. Right? It's not like, we don't blow shofar on they're going to, okay, or drabonans. These are milos. It's called chomer bakodesh. Chomer. It's a stringency. These are stringencies. It was legislated as stringencies. They're not just fences. It's stringencies within fences. Right. Okay. Some more says. So what is saying? Excuse me. We're saying for truma it's not a problem. Because we're saying, what is he going to do with the truma? He's going to give it to one of his own buddies. Okay? Somewhere says, but what about the vessel? The vessel itself was saying what? Maybe he was told the vessel in a basket, and maybe it was a chatzitza. So he said, no, we're not going to eat his truma. Because he'll give his truma to one of his peers. He may lend the vessel. We'll see. Titnan. Kli cheres matzel alakol divri bish hillel. Earthenware vessel only contaminates from the inside, not from the outside. Let's say you have a Rashi says, let's say you have a mess in a room, a corpse, and the vessel is an earthenware vessel and has a lid on it. It retains its pure status because it has to be able to go in. Well, here's another example. Let's say you have a mess in a room, and you have a hole in the ceiling, and you take an earthenware vessel and you put it on top of the hole. That actually blocks it. Because an earthenware vessel is not makabel tumah from the outside. Okay? That's, he says. Kli cheres matzel al kol divri b'silu. If you have an earthenware vessel, it retains its purity and every situation. Two examples I just gave. B'shami omer meina matzah ochlim mashkin, only for the food and drink that's contained within the vessel. Val kli cheres. Val kli cheres. I'm not sure. What does Val Kli Cheres mean? What? Okay, something which means, but actually, the Kli itself is Tomei. We're saying the food it retains its Tyra, but the what? But the Kli itself is Tomei. What's the reason? What's the reason why we say the vessel is Tomei? Neshu Tomei al Gabi Amoritz. Because the vessel itself became contaminated through the Amoritz. Then Kli Tomei Chotzeitz. Yeah, and a Kli Tomei cannot be Chotzeitz. Amol Beis Hillel. Yeah, right. No, so therefore he says, Amol Beis Hillel Beishamai, Neima Omro Beishamai, Neshu Tomei, the Amoritz touched the Kli, the inside of the Kli. The inside of the Kli. Vein Kli Tomei Chotzeitz. Omelim Beisila vel Tiartem Ochlem Mashkim Shtuch said Beisila says the Beishamai. So if you're telling me the Kli is Tomei, so how could you tell me that the Kli Cheres of the Amoretz protects the food inside it? Right? If the Kli is Tomei, something which is Tomei is not Chutzis Mea Tumah. Here, there's an important principle. Normally, a Kli Cheres blocks it. What about if I have Kli Cheres that's already Tomei, and I put food in the Kli Cheres that's Tomei? Right? Well, let's say I put it on the opening in the roof. Anything's Tomei, the contamination will go right through it. So therefore, that's his question. If you're telling me that the Kli of the Amoritz is Tomei, because the Amoritz touches it, so how is the food within the Kli? How does it retain its pure status? It should become contaminated from the what? From the Kli. Beishamai says the Kli won't block the what? The tumah from going through the sky, through the ceiling. Because it's Tomei, because the Amoritz touched it. So if it touches, how could the food be tor? The food and the liquid in the kli, how could it be tor? The kli is tummy. The food has to be tummy, right? So how does the kli protect it or not contaminate the food? Now we're saying the kli itself belongs to an amoritz. So if the amoritz touches the kli, contaminated the kli. He touches the inside. The kli he washes it. Whether he touches the inside of the kli, so he touched it. See, Shammai says, you know something. The food in that kli it retains its pure status. It's tor. So Basil says, how does it work? If the kli is tummy, how could the food be tor? Does that make sense? Doesn't make any sense. You know, it's like saying, the corpse, the clothing on the corpse is tummy, but the corpse itself is tor. If the source of the tummy is the corpse, how could the vessel? So if the vessel is tummy, how could the food be tor? Amr lehem Beishamai, he says, you know why? Kishitiharnu ochlem mashkin shebesocho la'atzmahu tiharnu. Who's going to eat this food and who's going to drink this liquid? The amoritz. No, Chaver's not eating his food and drinking his liquid, right? So we're talking for the amoritz himself. No, because he hasn't said it's like truma. You don't want to eat my food. I'm not offering you my food. I'm not offering you my food. First, according to Rabbi Yossi, that was only when dealing with kochim, because the only one who could eat kochim is the chaver. But if he has no alternative, he doesn't even think about the chaver, right? Avol nitar es akli, avol nitar es akli, sheti harosa loch v'lo. He says, but the reason why we have to mitar the kli, because we're actually saying the kli is tor not only for what, that's for me and for you. Therefore, we have to contaminate the kli. The kli itself is tomei, right? Shemet tishaled to shami, because the reason we have to contaminate the kli is because he may lend it. It's not only for himself; he lends it out. Oh, so therefore, that's the reason why we have to contaminate the kli. Basil says, what does Basil says? Rega, everything's to be. No, everything's Torah. We're consistent. Beishamai says we differentiate. The food we couldn't care less because he eats, but he eats that, so it's Torah for him. But the kli, because he lends it out, we have to be concerned. Evidently not. So now that's we're going to get that in a moment. But if we're saying that he lends the kli out, so what do we say? We're only having the chumrah for kodesh. We should have the chumrah for truma. He's going to lend it out. So Tosay asks a question over here. He doesn't understand the question. Take the bottom. It's a 3-liner. I mean, if you bought food, once it's tummy, food is tummy. It's tummy. If the chaver takes the vessel of the amoritz when he touches it, he contaminates it. The chaver is going to be tovelit. He's not going to use it unless he's tovelit. So there's never a problem. You understand? No, he won't borrow the earthenware kli. He won't borrow earthenware kli. He'll borrow another kind of kli. Earthenware kli he won't use. That's Tos's question. Tomorrow, let us be concerned. He may lend it out. So Tosa says, "Sorachim, ma'isol gadaitoch to makshe pshita the boy tvilo mishum agamoritz." We have a halacha. An amoritz touches the kli, it's tomei. So the chavetz understood is going to be tovelit. So if it's so it doesn't make a difference. There's never a problem. By Kodesh, we're concerned because of what? Because it'll contaminate the Kodesh. And the Kodesh is only for the Kohen. And we're concerned about Eva. But Chaver borrows the Kli, he'll be Tovelit. Not only that, could be, you asked me about a Kli Cheres, he can't be Tovel. Could be for this, it would help. Because the Tefillah we need is only rabbinic Tefillah. On the Torah level, the Amoretz is not. The Kli on the Torah level is Torah, it's not Tomei. No, I'm saying could be, it would, could be, it does help. Because the Cher is only on a Torah level. Once it's contaminated, Torah says you have to smash it. I'm not sure. Because otherwise, Tos's question is not a question, it's Torah Chiyim. Let us be concerned. Well, anyway, with that, we're not talking about you mean Tovel. You're not being Tovel Cheres Kalim anyway. We'd be Tovel Kalim that you could be Tovel. We're not being Tovel, right? Right, because it can be Tovel it. Okay? So that's what Beishamai answered. Beishamai answered, the food we couldn't care less. If it's Tomei, we call it Torah because that's for his consumption. But the Kli, we have to be Metamei because he lends it out. Okay? No, a chaver won't use the kli cheres because a maga, once he touches it, it's gone. He won't use it. Let's see, base. And any chaver will not use it. Any chaver, even for truma, he won't use it. No. Yisrael also. I want to put truma in a kli. Not even Yisrael. I didn't give it to a Kohen yet. I don't want to store it. He's not going to take it from the Amoritz. It'll contaminate the truma. Right? Okay. Aleph. What's the Aleph here? Betanya. Omer Rabbi Yeshua. This story. Rabbi Yeshua says, "Boshni midivrechem beishamai." Hear this? Rabbi Yeshua says about Beishamai's position that the food is Torah and the kli is Tomei. He says, "I'm ashamed to even hear his position." Meaning because it doesn't make any sense. We'll see in a moment. Isha loshe barevo. Yeah, Isha loshe barevo. What? Efshe Isha loshe barevo. Isha barevo tamein shiva. Yeah, a woman is kneading dough in a kneading bowl. So the woman and the areva are tamein shiva because we're concerned maybe they came in contact with the dead, or nida, or botzik Torah. Right? And how could the dough? I mean, how could the food be tor, and the woman and the vessel are tomei? Does it make sense? Login, this is liquid. Mole mashkin, you have this vessel. It's filled with the skin is filled with liquid. Login tomei, the vessel is tomei. Tuma shiva umashkin torin. How could it be? So Rabbi Shua says it's mama to say it. It's disgraceful to say it. I'm ashamed to even to say over. No, either should be all Torah or Tomei. So on that, Nitvalu, Talmud Echad, Talmud Beishamai, Omerlo, Omerloch Talmud Shel Beishamai. He says, what you're saying, you don't understand. You're even ashamed to say it over. He says, I'll explain it to you. This Talmud of Beishamai. Omerlo, Emolo, Emor. He says, let's hear. What do you have to say? Omerlo, Kli Tomei Chotzeitz. Oh, wait, the Chotzeitz. No, he asked him question. He says, if you have a vessel, it's already contaminated. Does it create a barrier or not? Omalo ain't a chotzeitz. That's not chotzeitz because we said davar atome is not chotz b'nei atuma. Kli shelam oretz tomei otor. He says the vessel of an amoritz is a Torah tomei. Omalo tomei. He says it's tomei. He says omal. He says to him, if you're going to say it's tomei, imato omet lo tomei. Klu mashki cholecho. You know, so if you tell him tomei, the man's not looking at you. He's not going to pay attention to you, to the rabbi, right? You don't consider me what? I'm less than you are. He says, you know something? I'm kosher, you're not kosher. Yeah? So because we don't want to alienate, to drive them away to Amaratzim, that's the reason why we say the kli is what? That's the reason why we say the kli is okay. The food is okay. The food is okay for that reason. Immediately Rabbi Shua went to ask forgiveness. And he prostrated himself in the graves of Beishamai. Oma nanesi lochem atzmos Beishamai. What's nanesi? I'm responding or I'm pained.
I spoke excessively.
Okay. Mastu Moshe lochem kach. Something which you didn't explain. They're so cogent. So when you explain what you said, even more so, it's compelling to accept your position. Amrul kol yomov hushcharu shinav nitani yosef. Rabbi Yeshua, to tshuva for what he had said, from fasting throughout his life, his teeth turned black from fasting. But what does it say? Loch v'lo alma shaltina minei. What did he say? We said before, why does he differentiate between the food and the vessel? Because the vessel, he lends out. The food he's not going to offer us. It's for himself. But since the vessel he lends out, that's the reason why we say the vessel itself is what? Is tomei. Is tomei, right? Because, why do we have to get time? Because he lends it out. So Mara says, no problem. He does lend it out. Right? He lends it out. So that's the question. If he lends it out, let's be concerned. He'll be mitami truma. So Mara says, no, if you borrow it, we'll be tovel it. It's not a problem. We'll be tovel it. Right? So Mara says, Yochin, Nedru Beisila Beishamai. So that's what Beisila should be Beishamai. Why you contaminate? Ki shalinu minai matbalinu lu. Right? So why did Beis Hillel say that? Yeah, that's what he should ask him. If you're telling me you're contaminating it and there's not a concern because he'll be tovel it, not be tovel it, right? So if that's the case, Beis Hillel should have said to Beis Shammai, so what's the concern? Why do you have to contaminate it? He'll be tovel it. I don't hear it. I mean, that's really Tosa's question on Aleph. If Magam Oretz is always an issue that you have to be tovel it, so what's the problem? So that's the problem over here. But the Gemara is asking without that question. If we're saying that before he's going to use it, you're going to be tovel. That's why I'm not concerned for truma, right? So why Beis Hillel say to Beis Shammai? The reason why he's saying you're contaminating it because he lends it out, right? So, but if you can tell me if he lends it out, you're going to be tovel it in any case, right? So that one of Beis Hillel said to Beis Shammai, so what's the point of contaminating it, right? So my answer is Tomei Mes Boy Hazor Zayin V'Gimel. Yeah? That we're concerned it's Tomei Mes. It's not Tomei like a Sheretz or Ziva, right? It wasn't that day, and you just wait till the night and use it at night. It's contaminated for seven. It needs. You have to put the paraduma on the third and seventh day. Umona lezayin yomi lo mushli inchi. Yeah, this person doesn't lend the vessel out for a week. You know, they don't lend it out. You lend it out for a day. You know, I'll return it. I need it for a short period. Person doesn't lend it out for a week. Therefore, vatfilo mehemnik. So what you're going to believe? You're going to believe what? You're not going to believe the Amoritz. He says, well, I was tovelit. See, even though it doesn't help because, so what's his name? Because it's Maka Amoritz. Right? No. Not Filo Mehemnik. And he's not believed that it's already beyond the seventh day. Right? He's not believed that it's beyond the seventh day. And therefore, so what are you be concerned about? Tumas Sheretz or Ziva. So you told it yourself. For Tanya, Nemona Meyoretz Al Tyrus Tfilas Tomei Mes, they are believed. So we're back to square one. What's the concern? Why are we contaminating? If you have to be tovelit anyway, the chaver will be tovelit. He'll use it that night immediately. And Tomei Mes, we learned in the Brisa that he is believed. Nemona Meyoretz Al Tyrus Tfilas Tomei Mes, Omla Velo Kasha. In terms of himself, let's say he was contaminated. Whether he was contaminated, we believe. But for his vessels, we don't believe it. To say he went, that he had the hazor, that he was sprinkled on third and seventh day, that we do believe him. But that his vessels did that, we don't believe him. Because it wasn't done properly. Because there may have not been done. Yeah, again. No, but still, we're talking about the hazor of the paraduma. So we told it yourself. When you sprinkle the gimel v'zayin, it's before you put it in the mikveh, right? So if you're believing on himself, why don't you believe on the kli? Not right? And what about the beged? What a kalim? No, so you'll be tov. So the chaver, when he takes it, will be tovel it. So what? No, but there's no. Who sprinkles it on? The Kohen sprinkles it on. The sprinkle is not the problem. It's the one who puts it in the mikveh. So the mikveh is you wait till Erev Shemesh. Some becomes contaminated with the dead. The Kohen, the third and seventh day, sprinkles the paraduma. And now the one who has it, what does he have to do afterwards? He has to put it in the mikveh afterwards. After he has the sprinkling, he puts it in the mikveh. So let's say the Amoritz didn't do it right, either was a chatzitza. So good, when he gives to the chaver will put it in the mikveh. No, we're concerned about the chaver will borrow it.
Right, so the chaver is always going to do tefillah, and the Amoritz will not.
Right. So good, so even if the Amoritz does do a proper tefillah, the chaver, that was the original question.
Right.
No, third and seventh, the Kohen does that. Kohen's never an Amoritz. The Kohen does the sprinkling, he's a professional. Yeah. What? So the Chaver will confuse the two. The Chaver will confuse the Tfilas Gufa with Tfilas Kelev. But we just said it. But we just said he's only Neman al Gufo, not on Kelev. Right? That's what the Mar just differentiate. That it says in the Braisa, Neman Ameyoratz al Taris Tfilas Tomei Mes. That's only Haba Gufa Haba Kelev. No, before I'm trying to understand Abaye. I'm not before Rava. I'm seeing Abaye. Right? He's differentiating. Jonathan was saying that's Gufo. No, Rava says Lokasha Haba Gufo Haba Kelev. No, that's good. No, but Abaye says it's not a question. It's not a question. He's believed only on Gufo, not Kelev. Because if it's Tamei Sheretz, the Chaver himself would be told with it. But we're talking about Gimel Zayin, right? So what do we consider? I asked. For Kelev, it's a problem. Right? We're talking about Tumas Mes. That's what Beis Shammai was contaminated the vessel. Tumas Mes. And we're concerned the Chaver may what? May use it without Tefillah. But how would he use it without Tefillah? Right? We just said for Kelev, he's not believed. That it says Nemonim is going on what on Gufo. No, Rav, I know, but I'm trying to understand Abaye. Abaye, I'm trying to understand. No, that's the reason why that's why he's not trusted. Good, but I'm asking you, so that's not a problem. So the Chaver will re-immerse it in the mikveh.
So that's why we don't trust that the Keli would be...
No, but I'm asking as a question. Right? The one who does the sprinkling on the third and seventh day was done properly. So what's concerned? After the seventh day, the Amoritz may have been a chatzitza. He put a clean.
Right.
So that means, so that's not valid. So good, so you know something, the Chaver will take it and do it again.
Right.
So let him not, but we're considering he lend it to a Chaver. So the Chaver will do it again. Why won't he do it again? But we're differentiating. That's his answer. Haba Gufa, Haba Kelev. I'm trying to understand the answer. I'm not that. I'm one of the maskana. What Abaye is saying. No, okay, I have it shver still. Let's see. Rashi doesn't say anything. Rav, I hear. 1 second. Rega in minut. Gufa Memin, yeah. Rav Omar, Idi Vidi Bekelev, Lokash, Hodi Omar Me Olam Lo Hitbalti, Klib So Kli, Vodom Hitbalti, Avolo Hitbalti, Bekli Shein Piv, Kishver Sanod. Right. If he says he's, no, that's not the concern. Amoritz doesn't mean he doesn't know halachi. He's not sensitive. To him, it doesn't make a difference. He's not worried about it. It doesn't make any sense. When things don't make sense to him, that's when he is. No, he says he never used such a kli, so that he's not believed. No, the first thing he says, Me'olam, period. That we believe him. But to say that, to that degree, either his memory is not accurate or whatever. Or it's a possibility. No. If he's a chaver, well, anyway, a chaver anyway we say is not tovel. That's understood. A chaver is always trusted. He always does a proper tefillah. First of all, we say chamer b'kodesh. Anybody, right? A chaver never will be tovel kli b'so kli, right? That's a chamer b'kodesh even for the chaver. Period. You don't do it. But we're concerned the Amoritz may have done it. So we're saying, when do we believe him? If he says, I never ever was tovel kli b'so kli. Okay. But if he says, I did, but I was always careful not to, that we don't trust him. We don't trust him. One second. Okay. Votanya Rashi is a raya. Votanya. Neman Amar Sloma Peiros Lahuchshru. He said these pairs water never came in contact. Aval Eno Neman Loma Peiros Huchshru Avalo Nitmu. But once they were muchshir, which means they're vulnerable, right? That is not believed. We don't trust him. Agufo Mimemon. The Gemara says, is he believed regarding his own body? Votanya Chover Shebol Hazos Mazin Olov Miyad. A chover who was contaminated, and he tells he's holding by the third day, right? What happens if you sprinkle on before the third day? It's not a valid sprinkling. So chover says, it's my third day. Since I came, we sprinkle on him. He has to pass the third and seventh day. Elo. So therefore, because he can't be trusted. So what do you tell me with the friendship between Gufo and that? You see, he's not believed. Even on Gufo, he's not believed. Because of the chumrah that you machmir or betchiloso, that you don't trust him, therefore I'm more lenient at the end, meaning post facto. Initially, the process, you have to prove it to me. Once therefore, at the end, that's why I'm not so stringent. If he says it was done right, we believe him. Lo emater kekalto olav psovo lamino ala tfilo. If he should niz betfilo, so she'd starch laod because he knows he doesn't get it over the head. If you hear what he says, this is like similar to the Isha says Meis Bali, right? The reason why when he says I had it done right is because he understands. Because if we catch him lying, the consequences will be very severe. And because he knows initially what he had to go through to originally have the hazor done. He understands if we find out that it's not correct, what he originally said is not true, we're going to throw a book at him. Therefore, we're more lenient at the end. Okay? Further in the Gemara. Acharayim v'toch. The Mishnah says that normally, let's say you have a vessel which has multiple uses, like the inside, the side, the bottom. So we say if part of it becomes tamei, rabbinical contamination, the others, we look at as separate vessels, the other parts remain the Torah. For Kodesh, Eve 1, the whole thing's Tomei. Remember, we had the case in the Mishnah. Maya Chorayim, what does it mean? The backside. Maya Chorayim v'toch. Keretnan, Kli shenid ma'achorov, b'mashkin. The outside of Kli came in contact with mashkin, rabbinical contamination. Achorov Tmein, Tocho, the inside. Ogno, that's the handle or the border. Ozno, the handle. Yodov, it's a different type. The handle. Torin. Nitma Tocho, but if the inner part of the Kli is what? Is Kula Tomei. So we're explaining it here. That it says if part of it becomes Tomei, the others retain its Torah, that's not if the essence of the Kli became Tomei. It's all the ancillary functions. So then we say, because it's all rabbinic, so since the primary part of the Kli didn't become Tomei, the Kli retains its Torah. But if the primary part of the Kli becomes Tomei, even rabbinically, everything's Tomei. So what's the primary part of it? That's the inside. Right? Okay? Ubeisat Tzvito. What's Beisat Tzvita? My Beisat Tzvita. What does this mean? Omer Rav Yudah, Omer Shmuel, Mokum Shetzofto. It's where you grab hold of it. No. You see, a handle, yad means it's like the long thing that it protrudes. This is like a lip. You grab onto the lip of it, okay? That's Mokum Shetzofto. V'cheinu Omer, V'yitzbot lo koli, right? Where does it say that? By Rus, right? He handed her the grain that was roasted, the roasted grain. Ravasi, Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Mokshin Ki Adas Tzovim. What's that? Mokshin Ki Adas Tzovim. Mazeh. Sha'ochas bo Moshil Achev Yitzbo Koli Targ Boshitlo. The Ki Adas is the Nisim. Tzovim, matbilin ochlin bechardel, o bechomish chokikim bishule hakara beiskibul, the govelo soviv noislam shom chomitz chardel. These fancy people. They're very delicate. You know, they don't just put the mustard or the seasoning on it. they have like, you have the vessel, and there's like an indentation in the bottom of the vessel, small dent, and they put the spice there, or the mustard. So therefore, whenever they want to take the food and dip it into the mustard, they put it in there. They're like, there's the fine schmeckers over here. That's what it means. It's the nisim. Yeah. Yeah, because that's not again, it's not the essence of the thing. Tani Rabbi coming to Rav Nachman, kol hakelim ein lehem achorayim, v'toch. Yeah, what about you have a kli that doesn't have an outside, it doesn't have an inside, let's say a flat surface. Echot kochi v'migdosh, v'ech kochi agvul, we don't differentiate. Whether it's the kochi v'migdosh or kochi agvul, what's kochi agvul? That's truma. That's kochi agvul. Omale kochi agvul ma'ininu, what's kochi agvul? What's sanctified, but it's within the boundaries of Eretz Yisrael. Truma. We say it's not. Dilmul chulin shenasa teres hakodesh ka'amrit at cross milsa. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay, the battery burnt out. You have to put in the battery.